Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honours to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with 144,000, consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of North, Central, and South America, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, it's today the 10th of February. It's a Saturday, it's a Sabbath day, and throughout this week we've had two situations going on, two main situations. We had an example of a young person. I don't know if he's a Hebrew Israelite. There was a video out of this young guy speaking of a dream he had, or a vision, regarding the destruction of America. And in that video, you've probably seen it yourself. He was talking of the Most High and talking of certain events that were taking place. And to us, we hear the breakdown of this particular vision or dream, and we understand that it pertains to the destruction of America. Now, to us, it's not a surprise. We're breaking down the scriptures to you. We're giving you all the information and a rundown of events that are due to take place between now and the day of the Lord, the great day of judgment. The prophets are early. We have to give you this information early. There's no point calling yourself a prophet and then waiting for situations to come about and then to say to people, that these situations are coming about. It's too late to give a warning. So the prophet has to be early, and that's what we are. We're early when we give you the rundown of World War III, the MOTB, and the type of things you should be expecting to see to happen during that time. And this particular person who made this video, uploaded this video, if you haven't seen it, I'll find a link, try and find a link of someone who's done a video about it and put it in the description box. And so looking at that, this is an example of something that's happening all over the world. You've got men out there that believe in a Most High, believe in a God, believe in a higher power, and maybe somewhere along the line they've been told that they're a Hebrew Israelite. And so from that point onwards, you'd think they'd get into the scriptures, learn the prophecies, understand what's about to happen. Yet this particular person, when explaining his dream, it almost seemed as if this person had no idea or clue as to why these events were happening within the vision. And we keep telling you that these events are very close, and there's a very short time left until we see great destruction, great death, great famine all over the world. And we keep giving you, from now, we're giving you a timeline, roughly within the next year to and a half, maybe max. You think in a year's time we're going to be in February 2025. So by June 2025, we expect the MOTB to be made mandatory. We expect World War III to be in full flow. And these are two major events that are due to take place before the return of Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, on the great day of the Lord. And these events are going to affect everybody in the planet, and it's going to bring great destruction, great mental anguish, like I say, famine, violence, and a whole breakdown in society and a lack of order. These elites, they helping to propel these events, and this is all to bring order out of chaos. So for example, you've got the civil war brewing in America. That's spoken of in the Bible, something that's due to happen right before the return of Yahweh Shai. And that particular event will bring judgment to people all over America, and that is something that's being caused by the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem Hawashai, in terms of judgment, but it's using these Edomites to pre-plan it and bring it about purposefully. And these elites think that they can bring down the system in order to create a new system, a new geopolitical worldwide monetary system. And so this changeover is going to cause a lot of distress to Israelites. The book of Revelation tells you not to take the particular device that, when this change comes about, the device that they're going to ask you to put under the skin. And if you're an Israelite, once you take this particular thing, there's no chance of repentance. So we're close. We're in that time, yet there's many Hebrew Israelites that are out there that have absolutely no idea. We're out here, we're making these videos, we're sending the warning out. The true men of the Most High have almost covered pretty much every aspect of prophecy and everything that's due to take place. And by now, if you're taking this word seriously, if the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, is dealing with you on a serious level, then he would allow your mind to take on board all this information and understand it. There are people watching these videos for entertainment, so they hear about the destruction, and they like the fact that that underdog within them comes racing to the surface, and then they feel like they like listening to videos in which we talk about the end of this system, or the captivity of their enemies, these Edomites. But these people aren't really taking it seriously, and especially with these false camps out here, there's a lot of false prophets, and because these false prophets aren't giving out the warning thoroughly, that lulls people into a false sense of security, and so people have been living their lives knowing they're Hebrew Israelites, but yet having actually no idea how close we are, or what's about to happen in the day of destruction. This empire that we're living in has to be put to bed by the time Yahawashi comes. Yahawashi is not gonna land on this planet, set up a kingdom of earth, on this earth, the kingdom of heaven, on this earth, with other kingdoms scattered about and doing their thing. Yahawashi is not going to have to integrate his empire with the empire of these other nations. These other nations are going to be taken out of power, stripped of any wealth, any military power that they have, which is pretty much going to get used up in World War III. And they're going to go into the kingdom of heaven with nothing. Yahawashi is going to be pretty much the sole proprietor, if you like, of all the resources of the planet, and that will be shared between him and his government and his men. And then you have the Hebrew Israelites are going to rule, and these other nations will be in captivity. We'll put them to work, and any resources or anything they come across, they will have to contribute to us. So this is something that's all due to take place very soon. So there's a drastic change on the planet, and it's coming very soon. Yet you've got I'd say thousands, I'd say millions of Hebrew Israelites out there that have heard this particular word, yet have no understanding of how far we are to it. And this is something that I've mentioned a few times, because even myself, you introduce people to the truth on a face-to-face, and come a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, you bump into these people and you realize that since that day they've taken nothing else on board. They just got excited at the fact that they are a Hebrew Israelite, and it's almost like they have a new name to call themselves. Or they listen to all this spiritual talk we give you. They like the sound of hearing about the spiritual world and the things that are taking place and how things operate, and they feel a connection with certain things that happen in their lives, yet they're still unable to take on board all these prophecies and understand the pattern of events, the pattern of destruction that is due to take place very soon. So ultimately they're either just taking this word on board as entertainment, and ultimately the Most High is not dealing with them. If they feel like they're on the edge, and they want to be a part of the elect, a part of those that are chosen to be delivered from the up and coming destruction, then they have to really put in some work real quick. And this is Matthew chapter 24 and 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumours of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." And so this is something that's happening at the minute. We've got wars and rumours of wars taking place across the planet. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." So again, this is something that's taking place, and it's going to increase. The famine is going to mainly take hold once the MOTB, the breakdown in society, comes to pass in America and across the world, because the MOTB, the change of the monetary system, the crash of the current economic system, is something that's going to affect the whole world. It says all these are the beginning of sorrows. So everything we've seen up until now is pretty much light work by Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. It says, when you jump down to verse 21, Matthew 24:21 says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be." So, we've had the beginning of sorrows, and now we're telling you, things are about to get real deep. Things are about to get, real judgmental, and Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai is bringing trouble to this earth. A great visitation is taking place. The people are being divided on opinion. These political parties are divided on, how they want to operate. Yet these banking elites are, hoping that all this chaos, all this breakdown, that they can introduce a new umbrella, which is the New World Order, the new MOTB system. And it says here then, "And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." So, if you're hoping to be a member of the elect, delivered from the annihilation that's due to take place in America on the day of the Lord, you do have other members of the elect around the earth. And if you're hoping to be beamed up and delivered from the troubles that are due to take place, you have to know that these days are being shortened for the sake of the elect. But those that are not of the elect, there's pretty much no help going out to these particular people. These days are coming by really quickly. The day you seem to find at the minute, the days, the 24 hours, seems to end, comes and goes. Before you know it, you get up, you do a few things, and the day's done. But also in terms of prophecy, since 2024's come about, we're seeing pretty much on a daily basis major events happening around the world, and they all connect back to prophecy in a huge way. So, whether you want to judge the time on the clock or judge the time according to prophecy, both of those things are moving rapidly. With February 2024, and by June 2025, I expect World War III and the MOTB to be in full effect. We warned you of the trouble coming through World War III, warned you of the situation with the small hats drawing out other nations into World War III, and that's something that's already come to pass. So you've had that warning early, the beginning of sorrows, and now we're warning you early of the events that are due to take place when great tribulation does take hold of this earth. As it says, a time like never been seen. And it says here, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So you have to be ready for a time like never been seen on this planet Earth. Great tribulation, great famine, great pestilence, and a lot of judgment. So those Israelites that are asleep are pretty much not, they're gonna get caught out by this. Now they're suffering the same problem that the church of Thessalonica suffered. This is 2 Thessalonians. This is an epistle from Paul, the Apostle Paul, to the church of Thessalonica. And the problem with that particular church is that they had an issue when it came to understanding the timeline. How quick until Yahushua comes back and what type of events were coming back. Some of them thought he's coming back way into the future. Some thought he's going to be back next week. And so when you kind of go through it, it pretty much links up with the same spirit on people today. You've got these Hebrew Israelites. They've come together. They're calling themselves Hebrew Israelites, so they want to be a part of a church, yet they're not taking it on board. It's the same sort of idea as turning up to church on a Sunday. Like these Christians, they play songs and they read 2 verses and they give money and then they leave. And then they go away for the week. They spend the rest of the week doing whatever they want, living their lives however they want, not contemplating the laws and commandments of the Most High, and not contemplating the events that are due to take place. And then they turn back up to church on the Sunday and you say to them, did you see these things happen during the week? They're all linked to prophecy and none of them have an idea. So this is kind of what's happening today. The same kind of issue that the church of Thessalonica had back then. So it says here, 2 Thessalonians 2:1 says, "Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, the Anointed One, and by our gathering together unto him." Because we're gathered together. You've got these Hebrew Israelites that claim to be Hebrew Israelites, and they have no idea what the details of prophecy are, and they're trying to gather together with us. They heard that they're a Hebrew Israelite, and then they with that they want to come in. That's the reason why they're here in the first place, is that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of the anointed is at hand. So for example, you saw that video with that young man during the week, and he seemed pretty shook up at the events that were taking place in America, and he was trying to understand it, he was shaken in mind. It says that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter from us, as that the day of the anointed is at hand. Now we know that the day of the anointed is at hand. We're pretty much on the doorstep, and we're absolutely close. We're just so close to this thing. It's almost surreal. You think of the thousands of years that have gone by, all the times people have spoken of the day of the Lord, all the times that people have gone into the scriptures, and people have just been cruising along, and we're pretty much on the doorstep of the return of Yahushua, that great day of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. But these Israelites that have come in and gathered unto us, they think they want to be part of the church. They like the idea of the tag of being a Hebrew Israelite, and they haven't taken this information on board, and that's why they are now being shaken in mind. And that particular young man, he looked troubled, and it's obviously he's not taken on board the spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Verse 3 says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Now the word perdition is destruction, and that's what Esau, the Edomites, the nation of Edom, that's what they are, the sons of destruction. They've just destroyed us as a nation through the transatlantic slave trade, just one example. And they also did it to us in around 70 AD in the sacking of the temple. So that was the initial time that the son of destruction was revealed unto us, and we've discovered who that was. And since then, these Edomites have taken us into captivity and put us through the transatlantic slave trade, and not allowed us to read our own scriptures. So over generation of generation, we've lost the remembrance of who we are, the fact that we're Hebrew Israelites, and these elites of this society pay millions of pounds to keep that information hidden. But now it's been revealed again, and this time it's because of the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, the Holy Spirit, being put upon the men, the prophets, and for them to come out and reveal these secrets unto you. So yet again we're out here, and it is being revealed, the son of perdition. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High. So that's why these Edomites took the image of the Most High, who was what you call a so-called black man, Yahweh Shai, a man of dark skin, and they've covered up these images, these old paintings, in a thing called iconoclasm. And he says here, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High. So he said, we'll do away with these images and we'll recreate our own, as if we are the Most High, as if the Most High is a so-called white man. It says, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And they did that with Caesar Borgia, what as Jesus. And now they're pretty much doing away with that idea, because that idea is run dry. It's been exposed, and people don't really believe on it anymore. So the new gods that they present themselves as, they exalt themselves as the Most High, is through the MOTB, these banking elites. Last night I watched what's the film, 1984. I've never watched it before, so I'm not really big on the films. Usually when I'm breaking things down through the scriptures to people, they always pull up a film. They say, oh, it sounds like The Matrix, oh, it sounds like this. And to me, I don't really watch films. I'm just breaking down the truth. But yeah, these messages are put out there through the movies. So if you haven't watched it, you can go on YouTube. I believe Remnant Say 144 put a link up for it a couple of days ago, which I found. And within that you see the elites, the powers that be, are as if gods. It's almost as if they're these ruling powers, and so through the control that they have and the manipulation and the tracking of people, they are able to assume that role. And as you see in the film, ultimately people end up accepting it. And so this is again themselves. This is this, when you watch 1984, it's pretty much a prelude to the MOTB, a subliminal message showing us where things are heading. And the ultimate goal of that is, as it says here, for the Edomites to oppose the Most High and exalt themselves above the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And when you're watching the film 1984, the little light on the wall and they're speaking through it and it's flashing, that ultimately ends up being the Most High to these people. And the new version will be the MOTB. You've had, last week or so, you've had Elon Musk. He's managed to install that device into the brain of a particular patient as an experiment, and they've called it a success. So this is one way in which they want to put devices into the body in order to track and control, manipulate the population. This is just the start of it. It says, remember ye not that when I was with you I told you these things, and now ye know that withholden that he might be revealed in this time. So it's the same thing when we tell these Israelites, you bump into an Israelite, you tell them what it's all about, and here we are, we're on the doorstep of the return of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yet these Israelites have no idea. They're having dreams, they're having visions, and they're totally stunned, they're totally shocked, and they can't get their head around it. But we're saying to them, remember ye not that when I was with you I told you these things. And so, knowing these things, it shouldn't be a surprise. As it says at the top, you should not be shaken. It says that you may not soon be shaken or in mind or troubled, neither by spirit. So why are these people troubled or shaken? Because they haven't remembered these things that they've been told. They've just treated it as entertainment. And soon as they get away from the video, get away from the church, get away from that understanding, they go back to their lives, they live their lives until they're next due for an installment of entertainment from the prophets. But the prophets aren't here to entertain you, we're here to warn you. It says, if for the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he now that letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So the spirit of the Lord's mouth is the prophets. So the prophets come out here, we speak this word. This is all the word of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. This is the warning that the Most High is giving you. And then comes the destruction with the brightness of his coming. It says, even him whose coming is after the works of Satan, with all power and signs of lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. But we are bound to give thanks always to the Most High for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because the Most High hath from the beginning chosen you from salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth, whereunto he called you by our gospel to the obtaining of the glory of the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Therefore, brethren, stand fast and hold to the traditions which ye have taught, whether by word or by our epistle. And now our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach himself, and the Most High, even our Father, which have loved us, and hath given us everlasting consolation and good hope through grace, comfort your hearts and establish you in every good work, word and work. So, if you're of the chosen elect, then, this word is going to sink in. And at this time now, where we're facing a time like never been seen before all over the planet Earth, we are comforted. We have the Spirit working on us. We understand these scriptures. And, to know if the Most High is dealing with you, then you have to ask yourself, are you comforted by these scriptures, understanding the events that are coming? But these people out here, they don't get the comfort you see in that particular video, for example, with this man reciting what he saw in his dream. There was no comfort within him. He was confused by what he'd seen, and it had pretty much causing him distress, and he couldn't understand why these events were happening in his particular dream. So there you have it. The Most High shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. And this lie comes from the false prophets. It also comes from these elites and the agendas that they pull out, things like science and so on and so forth. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs of lying wonders. So, with this science technology, these Edomites are able to fool people. And so people look at them as the final answer. They look at these Edomites as the people having the final answer, the final say on these particular matters. So even though we come out here, we tell you that World War III is we're on the doorstep. MOTB, we're on the doorstep. The return of the Lord, we're on the doorstep. These people have other ideas, because the world keeps telling them to keep pushing, to keep focusing on themselves, to believe in themselves. And a lot of these people don't want to have to go through the trouble, so they believe in themselves, and they say, well, I'll never have to go through that. And they find things in the world that bring them comfort and allow them to keep operating in the wicked way that they do. And ultimately, this is all coming to an end very soon. And so that's why now, for example, people are having dreams, visions, and they are shaken in spirit. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So, it's time to wake up, you Israelites that are coming across this information. You're scratching your eyes. You're like, what? Hang on a minute. What, you saying World War III is on the... Yeah, of course it's on the cards. We're close. A year and a half. We've got to keep saying it. We've got a matter of months until the return of the Most High and his son, Yahweh Shai. So, that was regarding Israelites that are calling themselves Israelites but have no actual clue as to what's happening. Another issue that's gone on this week is Benjamin Netanyahu. I've watched this particular news program last night. I'll leave the link in the description box for this as well. Now this says here an hour and 42 minutes. I only watched half an hour. You watch the first half an hour and you'll get everything you need to know. And so this week, an Saudi Arabian led Arab coalition has tried to persuade Netanyahu into a ceasefire. As you can see here, Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected the ceasefire. And so what's happening? America is sweating, because as much as America is ready to back the small hats and Benjamin Netanyahu, they're also worried about a regional escalation of the war. Remember, I said it to you. Local conflict has to develop into the regional conflict, and the regional conflict will develop into the world war. And at the minute, you've got Blinken, who's just been out. He was out there in the Middle East. He was talking to these particular leaders, and he's coming out and condoning what Benjamin Netanyahu is doing. He's coming out and saying that pretty much, okay, we get the problem. October the 7th, we can't let it happen again, but you can't just go out and annihilate a whole group of people, which is pretty much what's happening. When you look into the reports, these Palestinians are pretty much on their last legs. I heard a report today that Palestinians have resorted to eating pet food. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But it's getting pretty dire in that particular situation. And now you've had this situation this week going on where the Arab leaders led by Saudi Arabia have spoken to Benjamin and tried to persuade him out of this particular trouble. But this guy is headstrong. He's adamant. He's not going to stop. He's made a statement this week, and he used the word months. He said, look, this war that they're fighting, because people are looking at it and they're going, well, this has gone on for 4.5 months or so. How long until you stop this destruction of the Palestinians? And his thing is to say, well, we want to stop Hamas. And he's now coming out, since rejecting the peace deal, the ceasefire, he's coming out and making statements saying that this thing will be over within a matter of months. Exactly what we keep telling you. You've only got months until Yahweh Shai comes back, until the great day of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You've got a matter of months. 12, 18 max, no more than that. And so now, BB is coming out. He said the same thing. He said, look, and people are questioning him, how long can this go on for? He rejected the ceasefire, but he said, but we'll have Hamas within a few months. A matter of months, we'll have them dealt with. And the problem is, you see, as they get closer to that point, they create more destruction on these Palestinians, and there's more outcry around the world to go against him. And a lot of people are now coming against America, because America are pretty much not, they're saying to America, stop these guys. Why can't America go in, strong military, with a strong military minded, go into the land of Israel and force them to stop this fighting, because they work together. So they're not going to do that. But that's what these other nations are seeing. They go, well, why don't you just go in there and stop them? And they won't. They won't make no effort to stop them. And so with that, you've got this untenable situation coming about. Now, when I say the word untenable situation, you've got a leader who says that we have this plan to destroy this Hamas, and yeah, people are getting hurt, but just give us a little bit more time to get the job done. Meanwhile, you've got the rest of the nations saying, well, how long can this go on for? His situation is untenable. He's pretty much out there just killing and putting to death civilians and innocent people. And so, like I say, America are caught right in the middle of this. And this all lines up perfectly with prophecy. All these nations going against America when it comes to throwing ICBMs and the pinnacle of World War III. So, if you watch this particular news article, like I say, it says an hour and 42 minutes. You only need the first half an hour, and you'll pretty much catch up on the events that are happening during the week, who's been talking to who, and what's been said, and what's coming out of it. But just like we keep telling you that there's only a matter of months away until the return of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, you've got to hear Netanyahu. He's rejecting the ceasefire, but he's saying, just give me a few more months and I'll have Hamas dealt with. So by that point, things have to reach to an untenable situation, and then obviously other nations have to do something about it. Maybe that's Iran, maybe that's these other groups. It's not going to be America, and the longer America sit on the fence and dilly-dally with the situation, the more hatred is created against them through the other nations. But going back to scriptures, this is Jeremiah chapter 49, which talks of the start of World War III, the least of the flock drawing out other nations into the Third World War. But it says here, this is Jeremiah 49 and 14, says, I have heard a rumour from the Most High, Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to battle. And when you look up that word ambassador, we have sir, the word sir, an ambassador. And you think about the modern day times, you greet somebody, you say hello sir, and you're pretty much referring to them as an ambassador of something, either themselves or a company. You meet somebody from a company, he'll call you sir, and you'll call him sir. And this is pretty much an ambassador of this particular company. Now it says here, envoy, messenger, pivot of a door hinge, a pang or a distress. So the Most High is sending a messenger, or you could say an envoy. Now pivot point, pivot of a door is very crucial. It's a pivot point, the point at which things begin to change. And that's what's been happening on this planet Earth. With this situation that's happened with the small hats in October, that is the start of World War III according to scriptures. We warned you about it well in advance. We told you that this event, something's going to happen with the small hats, and they're going to create an event, and that's going to lead us into the Third World War. That's happened 4 months ago, and now you're seeing politically nations coming against the small hats. Very soon we're going to be in the midst of World War III, and this is all down to the ambassador sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye and come up against her and rise up to battle. Now this ambassador represents a messenger. You could say it's an envoy, a group of messengers, and these messengers are angels which come to the minds of the kings and work on them. And you also have the Holy Spirit, which is an envoy of messengers which gets sent to the men of the Most High, the elect, the prophets. And that's how we're able to break down these scriptures to you, because these angels work on our mind, show us things, show us what's due to come to pass, and point us out in the right direction. That's how we're able to pinpoint everything in detail. And the same way that's happening with us, it's happening with these kings of these nations. It says, I've heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador, an envoy of angels is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her, which is America, and rise up to the battle. It says, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. And when it says here, I will make thee small among the heathen, that represents stature, low in stature. And, when you look over the course of history, people, other nations, they've always looked at the Edomites, the so-called white man, as intelligent, sophisticated, suave, and they've gone to him for technology, for understanding. And when you look at the philosophies of a lot of these nations, they're built around some of the philosophies of the Edomites, because at some point they've all taken it on board from these Edomites and seen them as the people to be like. But that's all changing. That's all changed recently with this truth coming out. These nations are waking up. You've got African nations, Middle Eastern nations, and now even European nations are waking up with the situation happening in the Middle East. So you've got continent after continent after continent waking up to what these Americans are doing, these Babylonians, and so that's why now they're now becoming small in stature. It says, for lo, I will make thee small in stature, small among the heathen, and despised among men. It says, thy terribleness has deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, and that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh. And so this is what it all comes down to. The terribleness have deceived thee, thy terribleness. The terribleness of these Edomites is deceiving them, which is ultimately leading them into World War III. Now, when you look at Benjamin Netanyahu, he's got a spirit of war on him, and that's been put on him by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. The ambassador was sent to Bibi, the angel, and the angel, from the moment that happened, the angel was stuck by his side. And I doubt there's one moment since this situation began, the planning for the situation on October the 7th, that angel has not left the mind of Bibi at any particular moment, because he's just constantly in that spirit of war. And we're doing this and we have to destroy Hamas. We don't care who gets destroyed in the meantime. And that's one hell of a spirit. He's got all these nations talking to him, telling him, bringing up these issues, talking about the death, saying there's other ways to go about it. And this man is not having it. Look at his face. He's not having it. He's just, this is it. The ambassador is working on his mind, and thy terribleness has deceived thee. Now, that thy terribleness is the fear that they create, through their military power, these Edomites, through the way they've manipulated the world up until now. They've done it with terribleness. And it says here, Tifleteth, a shudder in horror. Or you could even go back to the root, it's polats, again, to shudder, to tremble. So these Edomites have, fulfilled their ideas all across the globe until now. They covet fields and they take them by violence. And it's their terribleness within them that helps them get away with it. Gives them a lack of conscience and helps them fulfill these particular will. But that type of terribleness, that fearfulness that they've created in the other nations is finally coming against them. Because at some point, I always say it, you back a dog into the corner, and at some point the dog's barking, at some point the dog's going to bite you. And you keep getting closer, at some point the dog he's got no choice. He's either just going to bite or just let you keep approaching him. And so that's how these other nations are. These Edomites have been terrible and gone out, coveted fields by violence. Why do we have the small hats, these imposters living in the Middle East? Why do we have these Edomites living over there in the Middle East, going on like they're the people of the land? Because they want, these Edomites, these Europeans wanted to put someone in there to control that particular region. And so, they designed this nation, the small hats, they put them in that particular land. And there's many reasons to it. But that's one of them. That's one reason why you have Edomites living down there in the Middle East, with the most expensive military in that particular area, the richest air force in the world. And this has all come from the backing of the Edomites. So, these Edomites have gone on so terrible that they go around the world trying to manipulate these nations, and even to the point where they'll just come in, take a land, set up government, set up shop in your continent, and they'll say, what are you going to do about it? We're here, and we've got the biggest air force in the world. What are you going to do about it? And that's their fearfulness, the shuddering horror that they create amongst the nations. But now that dog has had enough. You see, the dog's so far in the corner. These nations like Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, these people are so far in the corner. If you've got to look at the Palestinians, they pretty much represent the dog. They got nothing left, and now their homes are being bombed. So they are that dog that's right in the corner, and their bite comes in the form of Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran, and eventually these other nations around them. And these European nations are waking up to it, and that's what's ultimately bringing them against the small hats and against America. And so that's why it says, thy terribleness, that shuddering horror that you create in these other nations has deceived you, and the pride of thy heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. These Edomites come from Petra. It says, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as an eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh. So this is why I always use the phrase, these Edomites, they're taken one step too far with this particular situation. And the fact that they think they can just go in from land to land, cover fields by violence, that is the terribleness of their own actions, which has deceived them to think that they can do it once more. But like I keep saying, this situation is a bridge too far for these Edomites. So ultimately, now is the time we're going to see the downfall. We see the violent destruction of this Edomite empire, and this is all coming within, like we keep saying, within a matter of months. BB is coming out and he said, don't worry, we'll have Hamas under control within a matter of months. So something big has to go down, more people has to die, and at some point these other nations have to step in. If this thing goes on a little bit longer, they're going to come running in and say, now you're taking the piss. And if he just, at the minute I think they've started to target a place called Rafah, and if I believe that's the last place left, the last city left in the strip which has been untouched by bombings. So once they enter into Rafah, which is what they're doing now, they're making strategic moves to move into Rafah and start bombing over there. Once I believe, I might, maybe incorrect, but I believe once that's annihilated, they've pretty much destroyed the whole of the strip. And so that at that point, someone has to give answers. And there's talk of rebuilding the land, obviously once the war's over. But obviously, they'll only do this if they can take control. But at the minute, Bibi is rejecting the ceasefire. Yahweh Bahashim Hawashai sent an ambassador to Mr. Netanyahu in the form of an angel, and that angel is not leaving his side. He's stuck there. He's working on him. Just look at that face. This is a man that means business. Spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Hawashai to bring about World War III. So all comes back to this: thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thy heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. It says here, also Edom shall be a desolation. Every one that goeth by it shall be astonished. The capital of this Edomite empire, or the Bozrah, Bozrah was once the capital of Edom. The modern day Edom is America. America is the Bozrah of this Edomite empire. It says here, also Edom shall be a desolation. Every one that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. So, once America gets totally annihilated, people are going to be astonished. And this is what's coming. This is why we're telling you, within the next year and a half, this whole world is going to be affected by this World War III, by this MOTB. It says, all Edom shall be a desolation, America turned into a desert. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished. And so you've got these Hebrew Israelites. How can you claim to be a Hebrew Israelite when you have no idea what's going on in prophecy? If we're the Hebrew Israelites, we're the sons of the Most High, so we should know everything about prophecy. We should know all the details. The Spirit should be working on us. We should be trying to follow the laws and commandments of Yahweh B'Hashem Hawashai to the best of our ability. So how is it that you don't know? How come you're shocked to hear, the fact that America, could be destroyed in war? You're going to be astonished because the Most High is not working with you. And that's a huge problem a lot of you Hebrew Israelites have got. You call yourself Hebrew Israelites, but you don't know any of the prophecies. So how can you really call yourself a Hebrew Israelite? You're not fulfilling the role of a Hebrew Israelite. It's like me telling you I'm a football player. I'm a professional football player. And you go, okay, so you come to my house and I got no boots. I got no football kicking around. I got no football kit. Then you watch the TV on the weekend. You watch all the games available. You can't see me playing. How am I a football player? I'm obviously just bullshitting you. And it's the same thing with these Hebrew Israelites. They tell you they're Hebrew Israelites. Okay, so a Hebrew Israelite should be able to break down prophecy in detail to me, to break it down. They can't break it down. And that's because they follow these false camps, these stumbling blocks. And ultimately, you could say Yahweh B'Hashem Hawashai, is saving them for destruction, doesn't want them anywhere near the truth, because the truth allows you a chance of deliverance. It says, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbouring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. So I keep saying it, in a matter of months, America is not going to exist anymore. I work in a hospital and we're quite close to an airport, and so you get a lot of airport staff that come to work at the hospital, do shift work, so they might pick up part-time work with us at the hospital. So we have a lot of airline staff, and I tell them all the time, America's not going to be there very soon. It's not going to be there. You're used to getting on a plane, flying over there, earning money, working for this airline agency. It's done. It's over with. There's no career in the airlines anymore. Within a matter of months, we're going to be in World War III. There's going to be no planes flying. And after that, there's going to be no America. So there's going to be nothing to visit. You will see America, according to Revelation chapter 18, you will see pictures of America on fire through the satellites once the destruction takes place. And that's how, the astonishment at the things, and it says here, shall hiss at the plagues thereof. So the hissing, it's pretty much a, we read it here, shall be astonished and shall hiss, sarak. It says it to hiss, whistle or pipe. Get a better description anywhere here. Oh yeah, so just underneath it says a primitive root properly to be shrill, i.e. to whistle or hiss as a call of or in scorn. So, it's pretty much like you see a terrible car crash and you go and you whistle to yourself and say, boy, wouldn't want to be inside that car. Look at it, it's just squashed into the size of a pancake. My man must have been driving down the road, he's lost control, he's hit that building, and look at the car, and then you'll whistle, I wouldn't want to be that guy. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. And that's pretty much how, people are going to look upon America. They're going to go, boy, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, at the plagues thereof. It says, in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbouring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Behold, he shall come up. So that destruction is coming very soon. We're on the brink of full-out World War III. It's pretty much already here. We told you that. You go back to Jeremiah chapter 49. verse 20, therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh. He hath taken against Edom and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So the least of the flock represent Bibi, the small hats, and his government, drawing out other nations into World War III, and ultimately their habitations being made desolate. And you're seeing that play out right before your eyes. So like I keep saying, the Most High has got a stern spirit. An ambassador has been sent into this particular man, and he's not budging. He's got that spirit of war, that spirit of determination, and this is all bringing about the desolation of America. The land of the small hats will be bombed as well and totally annihilated, but it will be rebuilt back up, and we're heading there fast. So you Israelites that are taking this as entertainment, unaware, start watching the news, start listening to these scriptures. How about going through the scriptures yourselves during the week, in between videos? Start taking it on board, start piecing it together, because without that effort, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai is going to leave you shaken. So with that, I hope that was edifying. I'm going to leave it right there. Until next time, all praises to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakat Kwadash. And until next time, Shalom.